Hello all. In this video, we will understand the concept of attribute closure in the databases. Attribute closure is a set of attributes that are functionally determined by a given attribute. So here it is generally represented by a plus sign over an attribute. So if you want to calculate or you want to derive the attribute closure of a set attribute x, then we can write it as a x plus. So this x plus is given as a set of attributes that are functionally determined by the attribute x. For example, in this uh, set of functional dependencies where the functional dependencies are given like AB tends to C, C tends to B, B tends to E, and E tends to CF. If you want to determine the set of functional set of the attribute closure, if you want to determine the attribute closure of AB, then you can check for the attributes which can be determined by these two attributes A and B. So AB closure can determine itself always by the property of functional dependencies. You can say that AB can determine itself always. So the attribute closure can be found with the help of the properties which is covered in the last lecture of functional dependencies. So you can go through the last video lecture to cover the properties of functional dependencies. That lecture covered the some important properties of the functional dependencies. So here, because AB closure can determine A and B, so I write here AB. Then in this given set, it also says that AB also determines C, so add here C. In next functional dependency determines B, so I add B here, but B is already there, so I am not skipping that part. Then B determines E, so I add E. E determines CF. Now C is already there, F is not there, so I add F. So this AB closure can determine A, B, C and F attributes. So this is the closure of AB. Similarly for B plus, add B first, then check for the functional dependencies. B drives E, add E here, then E drives C and F, then add C and F here. Similarly for C plus, you add C here first, then add the attribute which is determined by C, that is B. B determines E and E determines C and F. C is already there, I add F. So this is how you can find out the closure of any given set of functional dependencies. Now this closure is very useful in finding the super key and candidate key in the given relation. So let's learn how to find the super key and candidate key by the attribute closure. So we have to find out the candidate key and super key from the attribute closure. So the definition says that for a given relation R where x and y are the non-empty set of attributes, if x closure determine all of the attributes of relation R, all of the attribute of relation R, then X is candidate key or super key. It may be a candidate key, it may be a super key if it determine all the attributes of relation R. Its closure determine all the attributes of relation R. So let's understand this concept by a small example. Suppose a relation is given as R with attributes A, B, C, D and E. And the set of functional dependencies relation is given as AB derives C, C drives D, and B drives E. Now, to find out the AB closure, because we need to check whether any attribute is there by which we can determine all the attributes. So we will start from the functional dependencies given. So we have to check for the AB closure. Now AB closure is AB because both attributes can determine itself. Then from the functional dependencies it can also determine C, and C also determine D, and B also there, B also determine E. So E is also added. So by AB closure you can determine A, B, C, D, E, and this will cover all the attributes given in your relation. So you can say that AB may be a candidate key, or it may be a super key. Now, how to distinguish between a candidate key and super key? As in previous lectures, we covered that we understand that your super key is a superset of candidate key. So, if it is a super key, let's say it is a super key, let's make a hypothesis that it is a super key, then its subset means A and B can be treated as a candidate key. So if A individually determine all the attributes or B individually determine all the attributes, it means A or B may be a candidate key. So if this hypothesis is true, then we can say that AB is a super key. So let's check for the A and B individually. So how can you check? You just find the closure. So if A closure determine all the attributes in your relation, then this attribute A is a candidate key. By the definition, I can say that. So to find out the A closure, let's find it. A can determine itself, then check for other thing. You cannot have any functional dependencies in which A can derive any other attributes. So only this case can be possible. For B closure, because B can determine itself, check for other attributes. So in other thing, B can also derive E. So E is also added. So B closure can determine B and E. That's it. So in A closure, you cannot determine all the attributes. For B closure, you cannot determine all the attributes. So these A and B are not the candidate key. If A and B is not a candidate key, it means AB is not a super key, and this leads to the conclusion that AB is the candidate key for the relation. And if AB is a candidate key, then A and B attributes are treated as a prime attributes. And other attributes like C, D, and E are called non-prime attributes. So let's understand it with another example. Let's try with another example. So that the things are more clearer to you, I will make another example also. So example 2 says that for a given relation with 5 attributes A, B, C, D, E, the dependencies given are AB tends to C, C tends to D, B tends to EA. Now you have to find out whether what is a candidate key in this relationship. So check for the first dependency. You have to find out the AB closure first. So AB closure will lead to AB, then AB will lead to C, C lead to D. So A, B, C, D is there. and B also determine E and A, so E is also added because A is already added here. So yes, AB may be a candidate key or super key. Check for A closure, you find only A. Check for B closure, you find that B is included. Is E is also included, and by the E is also included, and because of A and B, C is also included, and because of C, D is also included. So here A, B, C, D, E, all the attributes are covered. It means B can be a candidate key. If B is a candidate key, then AB is a super key because AB is a superset of B. So in this scenario, B is the candidate key and AB is a super key. Fine. So in the relationship, we can have more than one candidate key. Now in last two examples, we just only focus on two candidate key in our relation. So let's take another example in which we have to find out the all candidate keys in our relation. So in various competitive examination, there may be a question that find out all the candidate key possible in your relationship with the given set of functional dependencies. So let's try another example in which we will try to find out the all functional dependencies. So let's assume that we have a relation R in which we have 6 attributes A, B, C, D, E and F with the functional dependencies A, B tends to C, C tends to D, D tends to E and F, and F tends to B. So this is the set of functional dependencies given. So let's calculate the candidate key first. So find out the AB closure. By AB closure, you can derive all the attributes A, B, C, D, E and F by the help of functional dependencies given. So here I can conclude that AB may be a candidate key or a super key. So let's start with the A closure and B closure. Your A closure can find A and B closure can also find B, nothing else. So I can conclude that AB is one of the candidate key possible here. Now to find out the other candidate key in our relation, the simple rule is, because here A and B are the prime attributes, so look at the prime attributes and look at the set of functional dependencies. So if you find any prime attribute at the RHS side of the functional dependencies, then half of your search is over. So let's look for A in the RHS part of the functional dependencies. So A is nowhere in RHS. Then look for the B in the RHS part of functional dependencies. So here B found in the last functional dependency is F tends to B. So when you find any prime attribute at the RHS side, replace the candidate key with this, with the LHS of this functional dependencies. So I found the prime attribute in this functional dependency is F tends to B, and AB is my current candidate key. So I write here the set of candidate keys and prime attributes. So AB is a candidate key and prime attributes are A, B. So for AB, because I found B in the right hand side of this functional dependencies, I can replace with the F. So this AF would be my next candidate key. Now you can verify it by finding the AF closure. So by to find out the AF closure, you have to write here A, F tends to B. So B can be derived. So this AB can derive C, and C can drive D, and D can drive E and F. So F is already there, so you cannot write it again. So all the attribute A, B, C, D, E and F can be derived by this AF. So AF is a candidate key. Now A closure individually cannot determine, F closure individually cannot determine. That's why I am directly say that AF is a candidate key, not a super key. Similarly, after that this step you add this key in the set of candidate key and add this prime attribute in set of prime attributes. So now check for these prime attributes at the RHS of the functional dependency. So you find another functional dependency D tends to A, E, F, where F is at the RHS side. So now add this D into the previously candidate key. Now AD would be new candidate key. You find out the AD closure and you will find that AD closure also derive all the attributes in your relationship. So add this also AB, AF and AD, and also add this in the prime attribute A, B, F and D. So similarly find the newly added prime attribute, that is D, in the RHS side. You will find it in the C tends to D functional dependency. And now AC, check for AC closure. You find that A, C, D, E, F and B can be derived. So A, B, A, F, A, D and A, C would be now the set of candidate key, and A, B, F, D and C are the prime attributes. So this is how you can calculate all the candidates key in a given relation with the prime attributes. Now the functional dependency and attribute closure is very helpful in finding the super key, in finding the candidate key and in finding the prime attributes in given relation. So I will write some more examples here so that you can try, and if you found any difficulty in finding the candidate key or attribute closure in those relations, you can drop a comment in the below. I will provide you the solution for the same. So the questions, write down the questions. Question number 1 are with 4 attributes and the functional dependencies are A tends to B, B tends to C, C tends to D and D tends to A. So you have to find out all the candidate key in this relationship. Question number 2 are with A, B, C, D and E, and the functional dependencies are AB with C, C with D, D can derive E and C derive A. Now check for the candidate keys. Now question number 3, we have R with relations A, B, C, D, E, and the set of functional dependencies are AB tends to C, C tends to D, D tends to E, A tends to B and C tends to A. Now the next question is question number 4, in which R is given as A, B, C, D, E with the functional dependencies A tends to D, AB tends to C, B tends to E and D tends to C, E tends to A. Now I recommend you to solve these questions by your own and try to find out the candidate keys in these above relations. Also check for the whether they are super keys or not, and also check for the super keys, and also try to find out the attribute closure, because in order to find out the candidate keys, you need to find out the attribute closure. For any difficulty, you can post a comment in the video section. Thank you very much for watching. In next video lecture, we will cover the normal forms for the databases. Thank you very much.